Show.
That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody, to I can't believe I'm going to say this, to a Notre Dame refused to get outbid edition of the Deal Steal Always Irish Show. As always, thank you for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar, Always Irish, or at Always Irish Inc. LSU people, you know where to find me. We've been going at it for about 24 hours in a row. You know where to find me. I'm right here. Let's keep it going. I've been having fun with this. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to look at my face, I don't blame you. The call-in show, 312-988-15. You call, tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Myself, former captain, leading tackler Mike GOOLSBY, behind the paywall. What could go wrong? Nothing. We have a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody that's joined. All right. Wild last 24 hours in Notre Dame land. Wild. Very, very fun. If you do this social media thing and you're on Twitter or whatever, it has been one of the better last 24-hour cycles. Yes, it's trolling LSU and doing this with Kelly involved is a part of it. But that's not the main part. The main part is Notre Dame getting an OC everybody could trust and relax and they feel like knows what's going on. And a Notre Dame guy that loves Notre Dame and all that. And all the features we talked about yesterday of why this would be a good fit. You add the Kelly LSU thing on top. That's the cherry on top. That's what gets me trolling for 12 hours on Twitter. And it's been so much fun. So let's break down this deal and how it came together because this is interesting. There are some things being said about Notre Dame here that are never said about Notre Dame. A way of operating Notre Dame does not usually do with football stuff. Really interesting. So here's how I'm going to set this up. When something like this breaks, like it did yesterday, I record my stuff. Me and GOOLSBY do our stuff together. I'm on Twitter. I kind of get an idea of where the Notre Dame people are coming from on this, fans and other media people. But what I really like to do is go to the other side. Because the Notre Dame, it's Notre Dame, and you know the people involved and generally what angle they're going to take. I find it much, much more productive and interesting to flip this. So late last night, I decided, I'm now looking at the Notre Dame stuff. I know what we think. What do the LSU media people think? So then I pulled up a bunch of different LSU YouTube people that do what I do. And there's a bunch of them just because LSU, its location. You can't have too many college football shows where they're at, right? So I looked at a couple different outlets. Matt Moscano is one of the better LSU media contributors that I've seen. I like his show. I like the way he runs it. He's reasonable. Some of these people aren't. He's very reasonable when discussing LSU and everything. So that's a guy that I've been following as he follows Kelly at LSU. And I think he does a really good job. And I wanted to see what those guys thought about this whole setup. I got to be honest, I was a little shocked. These LSU people are saying Notre Dame refused to get outbid for Denbrock and just refused that they were not going to get outbid. This was the guy they wanted and they were going to get him. Would not get outbid. That's different. That's a different way of operating than Notre Dame people are used to. So let's get this out of the way. I am the first guy that criticizes Captain Jack and the administrative people when they don't prioritize being elite at football enough. I'm always giving them a hard time about now that you made it, you don't think, made it, meaning you have all this money and endowment and the degrees worth, all brand recognition worldwide, all that. Now that you made that off the back of early elite football success, you don't need to maintain it. That's always rubbed me the wrong way. hearing from the LSU people, Notre Dame refused to get outbid and LSU was not willing to pay what Notre Dame was willing to pay Denbrock. That's music to my ears. It should be music to your ears. So I give them a hard time when they don't support football. When they do a good job, I got to be fair. Great job. Great job. So let's get this out of the way, though. When I hear Notre Dame refused to get outbid, they wouldn't get outbid. Captain Jack was in a unique position this time around with offensive coordinator. He's phasing out. He's in that transitory training the new guy, gonna phase out in a few months. And he went through a rough PR situation 1 year ago trying to do this offensive coordinator situation, and it didn't work out, and people like me were ripping him. And then he wrote a letter saying my passion was misguided because they messed up the offensive hire and he wanted more of my money. The pressure was on Jack. And then once the public smoke got out about Denbrock and everybody had their mind on Denbrock, Jack got backed into a corner. He could not end his legacy on 2 in a row, failed to get what you need and want OC searches. He could not. So here's where I'm at. I don't know for sure whether this was a one-off where Jack said, I don't care what the hell happens. I'm not going out like this. You got to get this guy. Or if things are changing overall and Notre Dame's more willing to be a part of all this stuff to get the top-notch assistants available in all of this. Either way, I'm going to take it. If this is Jack's final parting gift in him being like, I cannot go out 2 years in a row with like a bad look with this OC thing. We got to get, if it's just a one-off because of Jack's pride, thank you for the parting gift. As a retirement gift, instead of us giving something to him, he gave that to us. So if it's a one-off, just because Jack's pride wouldn't let him not get something done 2 years in a row and face a PR backlash, fine. But what I really hope is, this signifies Notre Dame's more serious about being involved in high-level football. I got to admit, there's a lot of changes I appreciate that I didn't expect. NIL's coming along good. New football facilities should be announced, or an upgrade or whatever should be announced soon. A little more wiggle room with these transfers. Hires are being turned around quicker so guys can get out and work. There's little things moving behind the scenes here that I approve of. Notre Dame's fully in the NIL game. They're just not going to do it willy-nilly or pay for play. But if there's somebody they need that's legitimate, they got the money. So Notre Dame's changing a lot of those things behind the scenes, and it's beautiful to see. It's exactly what I need. So I'm not sure whether Jack's doing this as a last stand on the way out, because I hope it's a larger scale shift of being more serious about being in the elite crust of college football and how to get there. So good job by Jack and everybody involved. Now, here's some other information. Very interesting from some of the LSU people that have good connections. This is the wild part. Number one, LSU messed this up. For all the criticism we wanted to give Notre Dame last year, LSU dropped the ball on this and messed it up. They offered Denbrock an extension verbally. None of the paperwork was done at that time. They kicked the can down the road after the new year. I believe February is when their LSU's board was going to meet again, the Board of Regents or whatever, to approve the deal for Denbrock. Then they could get it on paper. So rather than push it and hurry up before the holidays, get it all on paper, they did not do that. It was just like a verbal thing until that group meets in February to rubber stamp, and then it could be signed. Big mistake. So I don't know if Kelly just figured Denbrock's my dude. He ain't going anywhere, whatever. Huge administrative mistake by LSU. It's almost like we were a year ago, but it's at LSU. I thought LSU was a big boy in college football. We don't know how to operate because we're not in the SEC. What happened to that? So LSU messed this up. They're the ones that look like they got their pants down. So they had the verbal deal, but nothing got signed and wasn't going to till February. Then it gets better. Then Elko gets the A&M job. And he made a big push for Denbrock. And LSU was able to hold them off, match that offer, keep him around. But Elko went hard when he got that job at Denbrock. LSU was able to hold them off. At that point, you would think LSU would go, we need to get this contract in paper, like call an emergency board meeting to get this done. People are starting to come for him now. They didn't do that. Kelly, Brian, you're dropping the ball. You needed to say, I don't like this. People are coming for our dude. You better get it on paper. They didn't do it. It gets even juicier. Elko and Freeman have the same agent. So that agent knew Denbrock was listening to other offers and wasn't like totally sold on LSU. So from there, Notre Dame scoops in with that information. And I couldn't believe my ears on this LSU YouTube show when they're saying Notre Dame swooped in, made a better offer than A&M, and made an offer so good that LSU was not going to match it. And it was over. They weren't going to match Notre Dame's offer. So all I get when I watch these LSU shows throughout the year following Kelly and what's happening is LSU, big boy college football championship expectations. It's different in the SEC. Everything about it's different. Notre Dame people could never understand it. Well, now you're operating like a small boy. Now you're the ones operating like a rinky-dink operation. What is it, follow Kelly around or what? So they dropped the ball on this by not getting this all done, and Notre Dame swooped in, and I believe Jack was on a mission. I'm going out getting this one right. My legacy's not going out with 2 years in a row of not delivering the right OC guy or whatever. There's no doubt Jack's pride was a part of this, but I hope it's a sign of a bigger sea change in philosophical processing for how Notre Dame does things. I had the biggest smile on my face seeing these LSU YouTubers saying Notre Dame made an offer that LSU was not going to match. That's big boy football activity. That's something that you only do if you're serious about being great at college football. This is not how Notre Dame usually operates. It was beautiful, but I just kept hearing multiple shows. LSU wasn't going to match what Notre Dame did, and he already has an affinity for the place and familiarity with his coworkers, closer to home, all of that. But hearing these big boys of the LSU of the SEC, LSU say they were not willing to match what Notre Dame was willing to pay for this guy, it's the best Notre Dame news I've heard in a long, long time. So I got to give credit to everybody who got this done, even if this was just Jack's final way to kind of make sure he saved some pride on the way out, not get dinged for this 2 years in a row and retire. If this was just his going out thing of like, this is just a one-off, but I got to get this one done, so be it. I'll take it as he leaves, because this sets Notre Dame up in a beautiful place to free Marcus Freeman up to be what he's best at, a recruiter, the brand man, the message man, the communicator, the relationship guy, the PR guy, all of those things that come naturally to him. It frees him up to be able to do all that. More of the in-game learning Marcus has to do to tighten his own stuff up with his in-game stuff, knowing you have two elder statesmen on each side of the ball that you trust. They're going to get everything done the right way, have their units ready to go. And you just know you're getting competency there all the time from young guys that don't want to be the star. They want to help Marcus be a star. It ain't about them. It's about the whole operation. It's all beautiful. Merry Christmas. It's all beautiful. Merry Christmas. So I just wanted to go over this because it was so rare to hear LSU wasn't going to match what Notre Dame did. I've never heard a message like that with Notre Dame hiring assistants before. And the LSU people they're struggling. You know, a couple weeks ago, LSU social media put out a video with all these highlights of Mike Denbrock, and the caption was best OC in the country. all the comments from the LSU people. We love it. This is awesome. We got Heisman winner, #1 offense in the country, 46.5 points a game, whatever, all of that. They loved it, loved it, loved it. Now he's going to Notre Dame, and the last 24 hours, all the LSU people are saying Mike Denbrock ain't the reason we were good. We don't need him. We're LSU. We just reloaded, and it's the players. It has nothing to do with Denbrock. Don't worry about it. It has nothing to do with Notre Dame. He just wants to be closer to home. The cope coming out of the LSU side is hilarious. They can't just say, this really hurts. The guy loves Notre Dame. What are you going to do? It hurts, but we move on. They can't do that. So 2 weeks ago, he was the best OC in the land. Now that he's a Notre Dame guy, he's nothing. It's all about the players. Cognitive dissonance to the max. It makes no sense. But these people, they refuse to tell the truth. They're coping hard. They're coming at me. I'm going back at them. I've had so much fun trolling LSU people. The only part of this that could get better for me in any way is if Belichick leaves New England and Brian Kelly gets that job and Robert Kraft says, you can be the CEO, do whatever you want, be the coach, have personnel control, whatever. And Brian Kelly leaves and goes to New England, that he's from that area, Boston guy, it's perfect. And if they're pushing Belichick out, that would be the cherry on top for the LSU people. If Kelly dipped them and went to the NFL and Kraft gave him everything he needs to entice him, we'll let you be the king here, whatever it is. So, but I wanted to go over this. This is super unique. The anatomy of a deal steal with Notre Dame as the beneficiary. I don't know whether it's a one-off on Jack's way out, couldn't go out the way he did last year, or if this is the latest in a series of changes behind the scenes without Notre Dame is operating with football. I am genuinely impressed with some of what's going on, even behind the scenes that isn't public, that there are changes being done. And I am a harsh critic of the administration for not helping Freeman enough and football in general. Kelly, too, in a lot of ways. I was critical of that. Things are changing, and I am a tough person to impress with this, and I'm telling you, things are changing. Notre Dame is getting more modern. This is a recent example, so I love it. It's a big boy hire by Notre Dame, and you got to love where this is trending. Let me know what you guys think.